Hi, I'm Miles.
And I'm Marika.
And this is I Don't Know What I'm Doing.
'Cause we don't! Oh, I talked to our fan from Wales. We have a fan from Wales.
Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah. And he's gay, I think.
You guys, we have a hot Welsh gay fan.
Oh my gosh. He's so hot, though.
But also, just the fact that we have a fan that we don't know in Wales,
Insane.
That was always a goal for us, was, how do we get a fan that doesn't know us? Or a listener.
He listens to our shit religiously. He says, every week. Yeah, because I posted on our Insta. I want to read, the quotes or the comments verbatim. Okay, so he's like, I love your podcast. I listen from Wales every week. Shout out. I'm like,
Wales.
I feel like I'm hanging out with my friends when I listen. Love.
Wow, you guys, we're done with this podcast. We accomplished everything we wanted to. We are just going to pack it up. No, we'll never stop. Welcome back.
Isn't that exciting, though?
That's insane.
Isn't it? Yeah, it is.
That's cool. That's really cool.
I know. It makes my heart feel really warm. And big.
She's verklempt. So we started our episodes with our fails of the week. Mm-hmm. Should I start first?
Yeah.
So this is kind of this is like a family fail.
Okay.
So I hung out with my family yesterday. I took the day off because my mom was going to be at my brother's. He lives north of Rockford in Illinois. You know, my brother Nick likes to talk about the family more than or kind of thinks and analyzes the family more than I do.
Right.
I just kind of forget they're there and then come back to them. You guys, I'm an Aquarius. That's what we do. So, but he was talking about all this stuff. He was like, I don't think that mom is happy in Door County. That's where my mom retired, Door County, Wisconsin. It's the little peninsula penis off of Wisconsin. He's like, I think that she just went there because Jason likes it. And let me just recap you quickly. My mom, when we graduate college, moves to Door County. Then she comes and she's like, I'm just going to live here now. Doesn't work out for her for a variety of reasons. Job. Her family's too far away. So she comes back to Illinois and buys a house near my brother. Then she's like, I don't like it here. I thought I was going to see the kids all the time, but I'm not seeing them all the time. And I don't have any friends. So I'm going to move back to Door County to retire.
Yeah. My
brother yesterday points out, he's like, she should have stayed in Illinois because she was not seeing Nick and his kids a lot, but she was also working crazy full time. And my mom, that was the first time my mom had ever really worked full time.
Right.
And she hated her job. She was working full time. He's like, but if she had just retired.
Right.
And stayed there, she could have watched my kids once a week.
Yeah.
And she would have seen her grandkids every week. I'm sure my wife would have loved it to have the day off. But I feel like this is a fail because I'm like, Nick, why are you saying this now? Why are we saying all this? Why are we why is mom doing this stuff, but we're not trying to head her off?
No.
We're just bitching about it after, and I feel like that's all we ever do.
Wow.
After the fact, we're just being like, wow, what a stupid decision she made. But I'm like, why aren't we helping her?
I don't know. Because you assume she's an adult and she should think this through herself kind of thing. And I thought your mom loved Door County. I thought she, loved it.
I think that, too, but then Nick's always like, no, it's all a facade. And I'm like, oh, my God, what? Is it? I don't know what to think anymore.
Because she was talking about, her friends and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, she actually has friends there, but...
Yeah, hang out and, it doesn't make any sense.
She should have retired in Florida or Arizona or somewhere warm.
Well, that's further away.
It's true. But she's kind of far away right now in a winter, deathscape peninsula that no one wants to go to in the winter. Yeah. So.
But your mom's main complaint is she doesn't see the kids enough. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, So the way to solve that is.
Live close to them.
Yeah.
Live close to them.
Yeah. I just don't get that. It just boggles my mind.
I feel like I should have just questioned her decisions more.
But
that's too late.
It's really not because you're just selling her house again or whatever, but I guess not. I don't know.
How many Door County houses does she have to sell?
I don't know. I don't know.
You guys, to recap, she literally bought a house in Door County, sold it, moved back to Illinois,
She did rent it for a few months.
Yeah. Bought a house in Illinois, sold that, moved back to Door County, bought a different house. So that's the kind of
small house.
weird planning.
Very, like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Minimized everything.
She can't stop talking about how small it is. She's obsessed with the fact that it's small. In a negative way.
It's just, she's an adult, and it is what it is. Like, I don't fucking know.
But she's 64, and I feel like there's still time for her to, like, finally dream big and, like, treat herself and, like, live somewhere fun.
Can she... Okay, first
There's still time for her to, like, grab
your
life.
mom and fun, it's very different.
They are not. They're, like, not friends. Fun and my mom. But they should be.
I know, but okay.
Anyway, what's your fail?
Oh, man. I have, like, 2 fails. I guess I don't know how to express myself sometimes without being rude when I'm, like, trying to stand up for myself or frustrated. So today I was working at the bar, and, like, there's a girl, and she and I work together every Saturday usually. Usually, I feel like we kind of, like, switch off, like, tables sometimes. Like, she gets the majority of the tables, and I'll just get a few. Today, like, I just got fucking one table, and then people, like, sometimes come to the bar, and I'm like, okay, like, she would just immediately run to the table, like, as soon as they sat down almost. Without... Weird. Yeah, so... Finally, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take that table. And she's like, oh, am I cut now? I'm like, yeah. It's like usually, like, I look at the time, like, yeah, it's 2. And she's like, well, you have, like, the restaurant for a few hours. Like, I'm like, Like, we usually switch off. Not, like, a lot. Not saying, like, we do it, like, every other table or whatever. But I'm like, we usually switch off. And she, like, completely ignores, like, what I said. And I'm like, okay, maybe I should have, like, asked her in a way of, like, hey, is it cool if I take that table? Instead of, like, telling her I'm taking that table. Yeah. And, with this person, it feels like I have to walk on fucking eggshells. And I hate that. I really fucking hate it. But, like, I just need to, like, I feel like work on, like, my energy and how to assess the situation or talk to people, like,
how to phrase things.
Yeah, and, like, have to stand up for myself in a more professional way without getting annoyed or agitated, and, like, and it's
that is kind of what professionalism is. It's like a smarter way of getting what you want.
Yeah. So I'm like, God, I need to fucking work on this shit. And I need to apply it for my other jobs too, not just this one. So, like, yeah, that was, like, my fail. And I, like, obviously feel shitty a little bit. And I'm like, but also, like, whatever. Like, I looked at her sales and my sales at that time because I'm like, that's when I decided, like, I need to take this table. Her sales were, like, almost, like, $600. Mine were, like, not even, like, almost $200.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. I knew what she was doing. Like, she was just...
It's hard because she's saving up for her wedding, and, every dollar counts.
Sure. Every dollar counts. Every dollar counts. I know.
Her dream dress is expensive.
But the way I should have asked was not, I guess, cool or whatever, but... Yeah. Yeah. So...
Words are powerful. Okay, so our topic this week is I don't know how to be normal, and we have another guest. So I work with him. He's a musician. He's a dad. He has a 6-pack. It's Quentin.
What?
It's certainly not true.
Wait.
Maybe a 12-pack, but no.
12.
What? No? I'm like, let's see.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hey.
Thanks for having me. I've become a huge fan over the past couple of days.
Right.
In preparation.
Fast fan.
Oh my gosh.
And Miles, I adore.
Wow.
Adore.
We literally sit next to each other.
Yeah. And so it's wonderful to be here. So
well, he's adorable.
Thank you. So, body language. Do you want to talk about body language?
Yeah, body language is weird. I'm always thinking about, like, eye contact. Am I giving too much eye contact? Am I talking correctly? Do I freak? I like a lot of eye contact.
People
I feel
at work know that about you.
Really?
Yeah.
See?
They're like, when Quentin talks to you, he just, like, looks into your eyes and he's really listening to you.
Oh, yeah, you told me that.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. But I feel like sometimes I'm not sure if that's good or bad.
No,
or
I love it.
The right thing to be doing, or if so I don't know.
I think it's good.
No, I think it's good.
And then I'm not like a close proximity talker, but I'm
Oh,
a big,
thank
like,
God.
I like to reach out, and I gesticulate too. So I'm always just thinking about it, probably too much, nearly like 99% of the time that I'm talking to somebody.
In your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I watch with people like Miles and I right now have our arms crossed, which means we're kind of like protecting ourselves.
Is that really what the arms crossed
That's
is?
what it means.
I just feel like it's comfortable sometimes.
I do too.
Same.
I do too.
Same.
And then like crossing your legs, like how to do it the right way.
Oh yeah, I definitely look at guys and I'm like, I definitely see how guys, what they do with their legs, because I feel like it's like telling.
Like in what sense? So what
Like,
if
you-
I do this, I do the...
God, do they
I
even
do
have
like
names?
a tight leg over.
Yeah, the
Sorry,
tight-
it's probably knocking the mic.
It's
okay.
fine.
But I do that.
Do you man spread?
Is that what with my legs? Like
I think
open?
man spreading is kind of
And,
hot.
like-
I don't know. Everyone hates on it, but I'm like, I was watching some TV show and the guy would put his like feet together and then spread his thighs out, and I was like, something's hot about that. I don't
No,
know.
I'm sure it's like no. I agree that it's hot for a guy, but like for a woman to do it, that's kind of like
Right.
maybe not.
I feel
Unless
like-
she's like a lesbian, also. Then I'm like, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
They have to have the BDE. There you go.
Yeah.
That's true. Otherwise, it's just creepy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Close your legs.
Yeah,
Everyone.
everyone close your legs if you don't have BDE.
My dog growing up, Libby, would like splay her hips out. Like that's how she wanted to sit. And my mom would like push them back together. Like she'd be like, sit like a lady. And I'm like, she's a dog. She's literally a bitch. Like
I would understand like, oh, it's bad for your hips, honey. Like, you know,
I think
maybe.
she just didn't want her like dog vagina like out, but like who cares?
Who
You know,
cares?
dogs are
There's fur.
naked.
Like, what? Do your parents listen to our podcast?
No.
Okay.
I don't think they've ever listened to a podcast like any.
Have you told them about it?
I like did once.
You did
Was
once.
there a follow-up question from them?
No. I kind of told my mom, I was like, just don't listen to the episodes marked explicit, which honestly, all of our episodes should be marked explicit because we swear.
Yeah.
But I just kind of like mark some explicit and
sexual
some not,
ones?
like more sexual stuff explicit,
Yeah.
but
My parents know. Because then I'm like, oh, I'm leaving, like, when I leave the bar, I'm like, going to the city to record the podcast. And yeah.
Do they listen?
God, I hope not.
How could I feel like if I told my parents that I was doing a podcast that they would be all like, not only would I get a follow-up question, I would get like, well, when are you having us on? Like, when do we get to talk? Like, when do we get to be a part of this thing?
What?
So it's just amazing to me that you've said, hey,
Yeah.
every week I talk about some like deeply personal things about my life.
I would think a parent would be obsessed
they
with
would-
that. But
I know,
that's
my
what I mean.
dad was like, I don't know if you want me to listen or not. And
Oh,
I was
so
like,
he
you
was
can
thoughtful
if you
about it.
want to. I was
Right.
If
like,
I was a parent, I'm like, hells to the fucking yeah.
Yeah.
Listening to this.
learn all the real stuff.
All the real stuff that's going on in your life. And just sit back and wait for you to tell me about it. Maybe. I mean, wait, what do you mean by, you said you overshare.
I think that's part of like the type of social exchanges I have to have as like a dad with other parents.
Oh.
Because there's a certain level of like sort of conversation that happens when we talk about, there's like a requisite conversation about your kids and what they're doing and all these things that I don't give a shit about. No one else
Right.
really does.
Yeah.
So we kind of like keep going through these things about like, oh, he likes to put your Legos in that container. Like that's,
Oh,
that's
God.
cool. Okay. And I just instantly I'm like, I can't. So
Oh my
I'll just
God.
be like, let's talk about absolutely anything else. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want to know
Something
about me?
real.
Like, yeah, like my relationship situation, what it's like to be a single dad, how it feels like a pariah. A bit. Like, I would get into all of this stuff
Yeah.
with anyone, like very naturally.
Yeah.
And I always kind of try to force questions on people to sort of push us out of that small talk space, but often then I'm kind of like, everyone kind of backpedals instantly and is a little
Okay, like-
nervous about like getting into like a real
A
space.
real conversation.
Yeah,
Not like a superficial conversation.
right. Like
Okay. I always find that weird too, because I'm like, I can feel that backpedaling, like, but like, I don't want to keep going. Like, okay.
Like I've had conversations where people are like, this dad was like, yeah, right now I'm working on like this thing from Container Store. I'm just like stacking like 9 or 10 different boxes and just arranging them by color. And then like my son has a really easy time like arranging all of his toys because we're doing it like color coded. And I'm like, what? How could that even come out of your mouth as something that anyone would want to
Why would anyone
Here.
want to know that?
Right.
And I was just like, oh, I don't have a follow-up for that. That's fascinating.
Right.
But Okay. So I think
I would
me...
see, like, I would follow up, like, oh, do you watch Marie Kondo, like, on Netflix? And then, you know, that type of thing.
Well, that wasn't on the air yet. Otherwise, I definitely...
Oh, okay. The book was out, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, sorry. I didn't know about it, and I should have done that. I'll go back in time. But then he would have been like, what? Who's that? And then that would have been
Oh,
the end
God.
of it.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean?
That's awful.
So,
that's so terrible.
don't have kids.
People are the worst.
Well,
No.
I read an article by this British woman, and she offered up, like, the British way. Like, her article is very much in defense of small talk. And, God, how did she talked about how, like, the strategy of it. She's like, I'll be riding a train when I was in London, and I can talk to the guy in the train about, like, how the tickets were taken or what's available in the food cart. We can talk about that for half an hour. And she's like, all we're doing is getting rid of awkwardness and, like, establishing a safety between us that, like, I now trust you, but we didn't have to do anything deep. Where, like, when she was in America, she got on the subway with a coworker, like, not on purpose, but they ended up sitting next to each other, and she was trying to just have, like, that superficial conversation with her, and the coworker was, like, on her phone, and she's like, I'm sorry, I can't get into, like, your whole thing right now, but I really want to know your story, but I just don't have time right now. And she was like, I don't even want to tell you my story. But then she's like, then we just sat on the subway next to each other awkwardly for the whole ride because we hadn't established a comfort, and that's what the small talk would have done.
Yeah.
It was interesting to hear about that culture.
It's weird because it's like sometimes like people will want to talk to me and then I'll like just feel obligated, like, cool, yeah, great, yeah, sure. Please stop talking to me. Like, just please. Like, I just want to be on my phone, listen to my music, like, just stop.
And maybe it's like the categories of small talk. Like, what are the ones that would be like super interesting, and what equals small talk? Like, if
that's accurate.
If I can talk about music, is that small talk? If it's just talking about records we like, or if it's talking about books we like, that's.
I think things you like is always better than.
I think so too.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Yeah, because it invites the other person to talk to you.
And there's something personal, something about those things that mean something to you.
Yeah.
Also, like, talking about something negative that you both feel. Oh my God, I love talking shit about stuff.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I talk about inappropriate things at inappropriate times. I was talking to somebody and they were a client, I'll just say, and they were like, oh yeah, you should totally have a baby. Have a baby, for sure. And I'm like...
Is that inappropriate?
Yeah. Is that inappropriate?
And then, and then I'm like, yeah, I'll just go down to the bar down the street and and it's not professional to say that. So,
Well, in Marika's office, they're not allowed to swear.
Yeah.
So it's like very weird to me compared to like our office environment.
I know. I actually said hell at work, and then my manager looked at me and I'm like, what the fuck?
You're like, it's biblical.
Oh, I'm sorry. HE double hockey stick. Like, yeah, I'm going to say that. Oh, God.
Well, we don't have that issue at the office as far as like communicating. I think it's like, I was talking to someone about it, like I leave work exhausted, like socially, because I think we can talk at a level that is like we're pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
We talk about just about anything.
But we kind of have to be.
And that's the other part of it.
Because you spend so much time with people you work with.
Because so much of our job is finding insights. How do people think? What do they want? So you have to be able to go like really deep into human behavior. And you have to, with your like partner, offer up your own life experiences, like sometimes to prove that something is like an insight or something humans do.
Like that's kind of the pressure point for everything we do. Is like I have to say something that resonates with Miles or anyone else that's in the room. Otherwise, it'll be kind of thrown out instantly.
Yeah.
But that also, because we do that kind of thing, it creates much more like pretty real conversations. I feel like I'm pretty much myself almost entirely at work, with the exception of like a few things,
Oh, really?
But I would leave work, like I oftentimes don't want to like go out and see people. Like I'm done. Like I had like 9 hours kind of bullshitting with people about everything I could ever think about talking about.
It's true. Yeah. I don't know. I noticed that with myself, especially because I live alone. And I like having roommates and stuff, but like because I'm like basically alone until I come to work, then I like find myself just telling like Marty and Kim like all this random shit from my life. Like I'm like, I just went to the doctor and it's actually lipoma, and I'm like, why the fuck do they care? Like I need somebody like to tell that's not at work. Like
No, I tell like my 2 coworkers like everything that's probably going on in my life, and they probably like they know me pretty well. Like even like when I like took a sick day, or like if I randomly take a sick day, they'll be like, oh my god, where are you? Are you okay? Like, is everything fine? I'm like, yeah, everything's great. Don't worry about me. It's fine.
that's good.
Yeah, it is good.
I was worried that Marty's gonna be like, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't want to overload him. I'm like, okay, Miles, stop talking. Like, yeah.
Are you guys good with silence now?
Oh, I've always been good with silence, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would take it personally as I was younger. Like, oh my god, they think I'm boring. They don't want to talk to me. But now I'm like, cool.
Yeah, like sitting next to my friend and both of us on our phones ignoring each other is like a particular type of like
Bond.
intimacy and bond that you can have. With
it
only a
is.
few
It's
people.
comforting. It's weird. It's
There isn't everyone
weirdly
in the-
comforting.
Yeah, where you can just like be quiet and everything's just fine.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, okay, our topic is being normal. We're not trying to be like normal and boring, but it's like sometimes you just want to communicate properly or come across properly. And I feel like a lot of how you're perceived affects things.
Oh my god.
And we've talked about this before. the tone of my voice is like kind of sarcastic and monotone and whatever. I don't know. My niece actually kind of has it too.
Really?
My brother was like, she reminds me a lot of you, and I was like, oh, I feel bad for her. Like,
Oh
old is
my
she?
god, no!
8.
And she
That
talks in that flat.
she's
sort
kind of
of
flat. Because I think people think I'm like, especially women think I'm like so sassy, and I'm like, I don't think I'm that sassy. I think that's just how I'm coming across. Like I'm not trying to be like sassy all the time. But I was even talking to like a coworker Tom, and he was like, oh, I've never played Pokemon. And I was like, you've never played Pokemon like that? And he was like, oh wow, now I feel judged. And I was like, no, I didn't mean to judge you. I was like,
Oh, I immediately judged.
I feel like I should.
Right
I feel
now.
like in my brain it was like, oh, you've never played Pokemon. Like, and that's what it sounds like in my brain, but then it comes out like, never played Pokemon. So I don't know.
You should carry around like a
You
tape
have, like-
recorder and just sort of
I know.
say
like,
it the way you think you're saying it and then listen back.
yeah.
kind of have like a resting tone, bitch tone.
I don't want to have that, but
That's what who you are.
at
And to
this
be
point, I'm
honest with
like,
you, when people misinterpret stuff that you say, I'm like, they're stupid.
they're not stupid. You just known me for like 25 years.
So
Yeah, people
So?
think I like don't like them at first, and there's a learning curve, which is great. Yeah. But Marika, you have problems with that?
I have a problem, I guess, with coming off ditzy. Your dad knows.
My dad thought that about Marika, apparently. I don't remember that.
You don't remember that? I surely do. Like, oh, Marika's like actually deep. Like,
Actually, whenever they say actually, it's like the
like,
worst.
oh, okay, thanks. And like my job, where I revealed about the podcast and I revealed the name of the episode calling I Don't Know How to Have Sex in a meeting, my first meeting, everyone thought like this girl's she's not gonna last here. Nope, she's not gonna last. She's stupid. Like she's not getting what she's supposed to be doing. And been there
Look
for
at
a
you
year.
now.
I'm like, oh my god. They're like surprised. Like I'm still there.
Like, wow, you can do your job.
Oh my god. What? Yeah, because I'm like not articulate, and I try to be, and I have a hard time sometimes saying that word articulate. Sometimes, not gonna lie.
Or accolades.
Fuck yeah.
Accolades?
Yeah.
You're saying alkalades, I think.
Whatever.
I don't know why I like it, but...
Okay. You think it's cute or whatever. Like, no. So, people are just, like, sometimes surprised. I'm like, oh, okay. And I kind of like surprising people in that sense, I guess. But, you know.
You guys, Marika watches Shark Week, okay? She's smart.
I do. And I used to watch Planet Earth, like, all the time. I used to go to sleep listening to Planet Earth.
I go to sleep listening to Ken Burns' Civil War documentary. That's like my
Oh
like grown-up pacifier.
my god! Wait!
No joke. I could hear it listen to like
I'm like freaking out because I used to do the same exact thing. Yes. Yes, I'm like getting verklempt and hot right now. Like, I thought like no one else would do that. Like, I'm like, and I only listen to like certain episodes. I only like the first. God, I'm like really like, like oh my god. So like the first 4 episodes, and then like towards the end, like the end of the war, I'm like, whatever, carpetbaggers. I don't really give a shit about you. And then I really love the first episode because they talk about the beginning of the war, and like there's this intro that the narrator is saying how like Bull Run, like I really wish I remember the guy's name that owned like the farm that like where Bull Run happened. And he's like, I'm moving the fuck out of here. He buys a house and it ends at his house, in his parlor, like Apex Courthouse. Like
Appomattox.
The Civil War ends at his...
So the guy basically, the war started in his place. And he's like, I can't handle this. This fucking sucks. A cannon went through my roof in the back kitchen. There was 2 kitchens and it went to the back. And then he moved to Appomattox.
Yeah.
And that's where the 2 generals
It like started in my front yard and then ended in my front parlor. That's what he said.
That's right.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, see?
Anyway, like the violin. I want to learn violin just so I can play that song.
Yes.
It's much prettier than that.
It is.
And then Shelby Foote. That like Southern gentleman who talks
Oh my god. Oh yeah. So great.
I'm sorry, did they get actual recordings of people from this time, or is this like a reenactment, people reading their journals?
Oh, so they would read that way. You did the last part. I can't even. I'm so overwhelmed. I can't even articulate it.
Oh my god!
Isn't it crazy the Civil War? Like, we can still wormhole back to it.
What is it?
Yeah.
A wormhole is like it happened at the Oscars. So Spike Lee wins the Oscar. He talks about how his grandma would tell him stories, and his grandma's mom was a slave. So he at the Oscars in 2019 is able to wormhole us back into Civil War or slavery stuff with just that one. He can link it back like that. I still think that's crazy that we can do that.
It is so recent, right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, like he got really mad at that Green Book one.
And did you see him turn his back?
No.
He almost ran out of the theater. He ran. He wanted to leave, and they wouldn't allow him to leave because it's a black story told by white people.
Okay, see, I felt
Andy lost to Daisy, Driving Miss Daisy 30 years before.
I feel like slightly stresses me out because I love The Help so much, and The Help obviously is thrown into this category of like white savior movies, and like it's written by a white woman and blah blah blah. But I'm like, no, but the book, and Marika and I have listened to the audiobook, and the audiobook is fucking amazing.
Who reads it? Who's the narrator?
It's 3 narrators.
Okay.
One is Olivia Spencer reading Minnie's part, and then it's like a white woman reading Emma Stone's part, and then a black woman reading Aibelline's part. So they like switch off. They do all the accents. So it's so cool because like Hilly will have less of an accent because she's like rich, but then like Celia Foote, who's from like Sugar Ditch, has like a super thick accent because she's like lower class. But I like fucking love The Help. I mean, I have a label on my laptop at work with a quote from The Help.
Where?
It's just like on the bottom left. It says like, "Ain't you tired, Miss Hilly?" Yeah.
Ain't you tired?
Ain't you tired, Miss Hilly?
So when you see it at work, when you're typing, what do you feel?
I just feel so satisfied because like that tell-off scene where like Aibelline tells off Hilly is so fucking satisfying, and it's just on YouTube by itself, and I'll just watch it occasionally. So I feel weird because like Seth Meyers just like spoofed all of these movies and called them white savior, and like spoofed like Green Book and Hidden Figures and The Help, and I was like, but I love Hidden Figures and The Help, and like I don't know, why can't it just be about like black people being amazing but white people are like not all bad or something, like, you know?
Right. I mean, those are awesome. Like they have black actors that are very strong, and they made the choice to be in these movies.
Yeah, also. That's how I think about it.
So, you know, what's his face? Like he won his 2nd Academy Award for Green Book.
Right. Oh, Mahershala Ali, right?
Yeah.
And he won for Moonlight.
Oh,
yeah.
Which I still haven't seen. Oops.
Oh my god.
Really? I didn't see the ending because the plane was landing and we were waiting to get out, and We should talk about boundaries.
Yeah, we should. I'm trying to think of like.
Oh, well, okay. So for me, I live with like 2 other people. And one of them, Joanna, she lives part-time at our place because she takes care of her grandma. So she's not there that often. Adam, who owns their townhouse, obviously is a guy. And I like to walk around naked. Because...
Outside of your bedroom?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And you're comfortable doing that in front of Joanna?
Oh, yeah. But Adam, I know his schedule. So he's like, he's in bed. You know, he's sleeping right now as I'm getting ready for work.
He works like nights or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have opposite schedules. Occasionally, though, I'll hear him open the door. I'm like, Adam! Don't come downstairs. I'm naked. Yeah, or half naked. Or, yeah. He's seen me naked.
So you are naked on the first floor of the townhouse.
Sometimes.
And
I
then
walk
you would
around
have to
naked.
like you would have to like sprint up the stairs at that point, or go to the basement, get yourself trapped in the basement, crawl out a storm window.
Where's your room in relation to the first floor?
Second floor.
Okay.
Second floor.
Marika's never let me see her room.
No.
I've never
Really?
seen it.
No.
She won't let me.
It's
She
like
thinks
messy.
I'll judge it.
Yeah,
Would you?
yeah.
At this point, I know it's messy, so like, what is there for me to judge? I know there's
why
I know
there's
that
no
there's a
point for you to see
blue
that?
tree painted on the wall from the last person that lived in the room.
Yeah, so like it's not necessary for you to see my room. So here's the thing, I'm not an organized person. So things are not like I have to go downstairs to get laundry, you know, to get my jeans, or
Naked.
I just feed a cat naked or whatever.
And you're comfortable
And
with the
then
cats.
like Adam will open the door sometimes, and I'll be like, Adam, just let you know I'm naked.
Why don't you just bring like an emergency towel?
No, what?
Or just a big shirt. Or something that you can throw on.
You don't get it. It's annoying. See, this is my routine. I take a shower, and then I put on lotion, and I wait for the lotion to absorb so I don't put anything else on.
What lotion are you using that doesn't absorb right away? Are you putting it on when you're wet?
Yeah, no.
You dry off, then you put the lotion on?
Okay, so I dry off, and then put on the lotion, and then I go to the bathroom and do my hair. It really depends sometimes on the day.
Okay.
Or, like, how disorganized I am. So.
Which is every day.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
So, yeah. I walk around naked. And sometimes I, like, masturbate in the living room. Oops.
Oh my god, I did that once in my... Oh, this is so fucked up. I was, like, living with my roommate, Michael, and my computer was, like, in the living room. And he left for work, and I was like, cool. Masturbated in the living room. And finished and whatever. And, like, I think I'm just in my underwear at that point. But I, like, you know, clean up, and then I'm just in my underwear because I don't have to go to work yet. But I'm just like, now I'm just watching, like, music videos on YouTube. But then his, like, boyfriend, like, comes out of the bedroom, and I was like... Oh my god, Steve, like, did you see anything? Like, did you hear anything? Like, were you just sleeping this whole time? Like, I was like, holy fuck. And he's never brought it up, so I really think he was asleep, and I'm just gonna pretend that's what happened, but I was still like...
Ask him.
And Michael wouldn't tell me that his boyfriend was gonna be there, so he would just, like, pop out of the room. It was like 7 a.m. or something. I was like,
Okay, so it was one time, Adam had some friends staying with us for, like, one night, and they slept downstairs in the living room. And they were married. And Joanna comes, I'm like getting ready for work. And she's like, hey, I think they were just having sex a few minutes ago. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, I heard stuff. I'm like, oh. And then I'm like, I was watching porn. Like, are you sure? I think it was me. I think you heard me. I think you heard my porn that I was watching. And she's like, no. And I'm like, are you sure? Because I go down there and they're not... They're clothed. I could tell
They're clothed?
How articulate I am, guys.
Burying the lead.
Yeah.
They were devils.
They had clothes on, okay? So, yeah. So I'm like, no. And then, yeah, pretty sure she heard me.
I had a really bad mess. I'll go ahead and tell this story. It's pretty bad. So there was a time where I lived with my parents, and I worked at a bakery.
Oh.
Which meant my hours were from 4 till noon.
Yeah.
4 a.m.
4 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
To go do all the kneading of the dough and etc. And I would have to get up at 3 or whatever. And one morning I was like, oh, I'm kind of like wound up. I'm gonna go ahead and I was like, I went to we had like a living room, obviously. Well, not obviously, but my parents' house had a living room. And in that living room, I masturbated, watched something on TV, and then like I fell asleep like immediately afterwards. And then I woke up. So this is like whatever 3:15 or something. And then I'm like, my mom for whatever reason woke up in the middle of the night, and she was like peeking her head through the door. She's like, honey, and like doing the like, I saw you. I just like peeking in and then bolting her head out and then looking in again. And I'm like, I didn't have anything to say. I couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
You can't say anything.
No.
There was no like props, no like deflect, nothing.
You should have been like,
just,
human nature.
And I was like, okay, I just like scrambled up and like walked by her. She's like, and she tried to like just normalize it. She's like, okay, like have a great day, like have fun. I was like, oh my god. Everything about that was the worst
Wait,
thing
so you
ever.
fell asleep and she found you like naked or with like
It was
you
like
didn't clean up,
everything about it was, or I had like a half buttoned shirt and like
Yeah.
boxers on one, not
Oh,
underwear on one
God.
leg.
Yeah.
Probably like a slipper. It was all terrible. Like the whole visual, and probably my head was like this and like mouth open to sleep. Like the whole scene was a disaster.
Did you move out that night?
I think it has affected our relationship.
Oh my god. I would have like burned the house down and been like, we can never go back. Damn.
Anyway, boundaries.
boundaries, yeah.
What are we
Oh, I question authority. But wait, like you think I question authority like when I'm around you?
I can't think of examples. No, I mean, I can't think of examples besides your parents, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's only my parents.
I just do it in like passive aggressive ways by like not paying parking tickets because I'm like mad or incensed about the fact that I got a ticket. And
Oh,
getting,
they
like,
took it out of my taxes. Stupid Hanover Park. Like, oh, you didn't pay for this red light ticket.
Really?
Take it out of your state taxes. Yeah.
I didn't know they could do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah, but that authority is like, I just think all parking should be free.
Agreed.
Like, that's so insane.
Well, except for like a fire hydrant. I get that.
Oh, yeah, the fire
No, but
hydrant
the
stuff.
thing about that is like what I learned is like they don't. I have a friend who's a fireman, and he's like, no, it doesn't matter. We can just like smash through the person's window.
Oh, yeah, that's
They
true.
don't care. Like it's really not a big deal for them. Like it's not.
Wait, why would they smash through the window of the
So
car?
like,
Because
so
it's a good
if my car
hose.
is right out there, right? And
Yeah.
if there was, and if
They can put
suddenly
the hose through the window.
Of the
they can
car?
just like smash. It's like, and it takes no time at all. And it's not a big deal.
Oh.
It's like a minor inconvenience.
Right. And they would pay for it.
But in the grand
totally,
scheme
right?
of things, like not a big deal.
I don't understand why firefighters aren't hot. It's my major quality, firefighters.
Is your friend hot?
Firefighters,
No, it's not.
they're never the fancy. They're just always like older and kind of fat, and I'm like, aren't you supposed to be able to like burst through walls and like carry people?
Carry
and-
people?
But that's the thing.
Oh.
There is like, there's a lot of physical
Also,
rigor to
like
this
police
stuff.
officers too. Like, why
Police
are
officers
you,
too.
Like, why is there like a beer belly on you? Like, why? Like, can you run? Can you? I don't know.
I don't get that either. I'm like,
Also-
because they have to pass all these physical exams to like become that. But then
Yeah,
they
but
never
that's
have
when
to
they
do
were
it.
young. That's when
Yeah.
they're younger. There's
There's
an,
not-
like,
there should
there's
be
an
an exam-
age cap that you have to, like, you can't go past like 33 or something to become a police officer.
They should have to do a physical exam every year.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they should,
Right?
but
It's so
I don't know. They
weird.
do. Also, like, I don't know. You guys have like security at your office, right?
Barely.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, are they like old people?
No, they're like middle age.
Really interesting because mine like are old, and like I'm
It's
like
a good retirement job. It is.
I know, I'm sure it is, but aren't you there to like secure the office? And what if someone comes in here? Why do you have a cane? Why?
I think it's
Why?
just, I think it's just
Why?
it's a deterrent, and they say that like
It's not though.
no, they say that a big deterrent against like theft and stuff is saying like, "Hi, how are you?" Like when you establish a personal like that's barely a personal connection, but any sort of connection that's a huge deterrent to crime.
That's not gonna stop a disgruntled employee.
I mean,
Maybe
my
it's too soon to
ex,
say.
my first boyfriend I don't know if you remember this, but he did work in security as one of his jobs. He
Oh,
did
yeah.
like overnight security when he was like 22, and he was like 118 pounds, and like, what the fuck was he supposed to do? Like,
Yeah, well, I feel more safe with that than like a person with the cane.
that's a weapon.
They needed to stand. Like, I don't know what.
If the chair has wheels, they can wheel themselves and
They
jab the cane.
I don't know.
What did we learn?
I don't know.
I'm like intrigued by what you said about small talk. That it's like a way, if you do it right, it's like a way to sort of create an avenue of green lights for you as far as conversation and like getting to know people. Like there's an art to it. I don't know it, and as a result, life's more entertaining for me. But for someone who's able to bullshit about literally anything on earth for 10 minutes, that'll make everyone your friend, and you'll begin to create deeper relationships. That doesn't seem right.
No.
That's sort of the...
No.
Marika's shaking her head, but like...
like, I don't want everyone to be my friend. Like, I'm sorry.
No. It's not that. I think it's almost like an autopilot. So it's not even really about like what I want. I don't want to become everyone's best friend, but I want to be able to walk through life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
It's a way of like dispelling awkwardness and like...
Right.
It's really weird how to feel like awkwardness. Like it's like something in the air. But there's like a threshold you have to like get past, and then it feels like it's less awkward.
Oh, if you can.
Yeah. But
There's
you're
people,
like, oh my God.
it always happens to me when I'm in Boys Town, I'm talking to like the kind of gay Boys Town type of guy.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I feel like we're speaking different languages when that happens. I'm like, all of my references they don't know. And
What do you mean?
I don't know. One time somebody asked me who my queen was. And I was like, what? He was like, who's your queen? Like Beyonce or like Gaga or Madonna or like, who's your queen? I was like like S Club 7. Like I was like, I don't like it. Just like sometimes there can be so little common ground that I'm like, what are we saying right now?
I would feel weird.
Yeah.
What?
I do feel weird.
Wait. Ew. Like, that's always so awkward when you, like, say something and, like, no one responds. Like, okay, great. I'm like, oh,
You're like, do I keep talking?
like, no one gives a shit. Clearly.
Just repeat
No one
it.
gives
Just say
a
it
shit.
again and again.
Am I just like, so sports at that point? Like, do you just
got it.
pivot?
Who's your queen?
God, I was actually thinking about this question.
S Club 7.
No, well, I was thinking about it because I watched... Because sometimes I'm not that loyal. I just like music in general. I don't think I'm loyal where I'd have a queen.
Yeah.
But I was watching the Lady Gaga documentary, and I was like, you know what? Like, we really liked her in college, and she seemed really real. And we kind of, Jamie and I at least, like, followed her career for a little bit. I never saw her in concert or anything, but, like, if I had to pick somebody, that's probably the one I have the most connection to is her.
Yeah.
Because I could say Donna Summer or something, but that's before my... Like, I love her music, but that's before my time. Like, I probably would say...
Why?
So it has to be like a contemporary to be.
I don't think it has to, but
It has to be
for me,
live?
I'd want listeners. Who's your queen? We haven't talked to the listeners at all.
Who's your queen?
Quentin?
Do you guys throw hashtags out?
No, but you are. I wish we had that level of social engagement.
Yeah.
Who's my queen?
Yeah, Marika. This is gonna be our you guys. This is probably gonna be our question for the week because we haven't even checked, but I doubt we have a question right now.
I don't know. God, that seems like they put that person way up, like, on a pedestal.
Yeah, I don't know that anyone's on like that pedestal
Like,
for
I guess
me, but
Taylor Swift.
oh yeah, it would be Taylor Swift for you.
Or, like...
You've seen her in concert like multiple
Oh,
times.
yeah, I've seen her in
Marika drove to Nebraska to see her in
I
concert.
did.
And got in the newspaper for it.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Which newspaper?
Okay, so Taylor...
Omaha.
Not the local
Okay.
Batavian paper?
No.
Batavia,
this
by the way, is
Daily
amazing
Herald,
to say.
though, like, so Taylor, for one of her tours, the Fearless tour, like, people would dress up in, like, a costume. Like, there'll be, like, a cow or a chicken, and they would, like, meet her. Like, they would just want to stand out because after every concert, usually she has, like, an after party, but, like, somebody on our team or her mom would pick fans in the crowd while the concert's going on. So her next tour, I'm like, I'm going to be dressed up as a lion to stand out. No one else is going to do that. And I did. And, like, there's a reporter there from the newspaper, and she, like, saw me, and I'm like, I'm in journalism. I know that look. I'll talk to you. Yeah. So, and obviously, she couldn't go into the venue.
This was like in line?
Yeah, this is, like, outside of the venue. Like, she wasn't allowed to go in.
What did she ask you about?
Just, like, why I liked her and how I started liking her, and, like, I don't know, I can't remember the quotes that she said, but, like, I saved the article.
Yeah. The photos, your photo was in the paper, and it's so cute. Marika's, like, holding the lion-headed smiling, like, in the costume.
So wait, so people dress up in animals' costumes.
Yeah.
It seems like
And no one else dressed
To
up
do
except
what?
for...
Like, is the goal to be like get chosen to be on stage? And
No,
dance?
chosen to go to the party
After the show.
To
where
meet her.
Taylor like has a
Like a meet and greet
Yeah,
kind of
sorry,
thing?
yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think of who my queen is. I don't know. I'm
Ken
still trying to
Burns.
understand.
Ken Burns is your queen.
Ken Burns.
Oh, man.
I think Shelby Foote is my queen. At least today. So he's the guy he was like the Southern gentleman
Yes.
who like
Oh.
he would always have some like beautiful way
type
to
of
sing
Savannah
songy.
drawl, like, oh god.
He always had like just some little tidbit for everything.
Oh my god.
That was just like wrapped the whole thing up in a
I
bow.
know, yes, and his accent was so choice. It was
God, I'm
great.
trying to remember a line and I can't. It's escaping me. Anyway, Shelby Foote, you're my queen.
Okay. Shelby, you heard it here first.
He's been dead for a while, but that's
Wait, what?
sorry. Yeah, he died like 5 years ago maybe.
Oh my god.
We'll go visit his grave.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys look for that on the Instagram.
At IDK Pod, what I'm doing. Wait. Sorry.
No. Don't.
I've been getting it right so many fucking episodes, so fuck you. IDK, what I'm doing pod.
Yes, that's our Instagram.
That's our Insta.
Let's do successes of the week.
Quentin, do you have one? A success of the week?
I started looking for a therapist, which is hard.
Oh.
Because I had one who I loved, but then like insurance, this has been a while. So I switched jobs and I like loved this guy I was seeing. We'd been seeing him for years, but then switched insurance and I just like was dragging my feet to like find someone new.
Yeah.
And I like did a round of it where it's like speed dating through people.
Right.
I'm like, oh, do I want to share everything with you?
Yeah.
No, I don't. So I stopped for a long time. So I started this week trying to like, but I don't know how to pick those kinds of people out.
Yeah,
like their
no, it's
bios are
different.
always terrible. Their websites are disgusting. It's always like a fern and like like a couple of rocks, like
Suggestions?
placid.
Suggestions from friends that go to a therapist? No.
I don't know. Maybe.
I have a friends with benefits that's a therapist, but
Oh, yeah.
That's not a bad idea. Like talk to some friends.
with benefits.
Yeah.
With
Or amigobios. That's a Spanish.
Oh.
for what?
For friends with benefits, amigobios. It's like amigos and novios
Oh,
together.
that's all together.
Yeah.
That's better than
nice.
friends
That's
with
better
benefits.
than our thing.
Amicabios?
No, amigobios.
Amigovio. What's amicabios?
I don't know. You just made that up.
Okay, so yeah, looking for new therapists. That's my
Oh,
week.
that's
That's a good
Win.
one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So I finally made lunch for my little lunch group. Me and my two friends at work, we decided to bring lunch every day.
For each other.
For each other. So each person has a day of the week. And I've been dropping the ball religiously until they like sat me down like, hey Marika, you need to start bringing fucking lunch. Otherwise, you're not going to be in this group anymore, like, of lunches. And I'm like, okay. And you're like, you're right. So they made me feel bad. But it was deserved. And I finally made it. I made jambalaya, but it's not that great. So.
For a whole group of people?
Yeah, it's only 2 people, though.
There's 3 of you total.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of a nice group. I
Yeah.
like that idea a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, because it'd be great, because if
Wouldn't
we
that be
did it,
great?
it would be called Podluck. Because we're sitting pods. And
Sounds
it'd
like
be-
you're already ready to do
I thought of it earlier today. No, I don't want to do it because I don't want to bike with a large amount of food.
You would just put it in a big container and then bring paper plates and then...
I'd have to...
It's a big
I can't do a casserole. I'd have to do some sort of bowl or something. Cause
Yeah.
Okay, my success. I don't know, you guys. I hung out with my family yesterday. I took the day off of work. Took my birthday day off because we get a day off during our birthday month.
Oh.
And I took it on March 1st because February is short. Don't come for me.
Don't at me.
Don't come for me. I took it on March 1st. Yeah, I went and hung out with my family, and I like the kids. Like my brother has 3 kids, but they're finally like a fun age right now. They're like 8, 3, and 5. Every time I go there now, I just play with them. Like now they're old enough, so I played Yahtzee and like we played like hide and seek. And I went to my niece's basketball game, which was hilarious because you guys watching 3 to 5-year-olds playing basketball is just like, what is it's like not basketball. They clump together and just kind of stand there and do the floss and stuff. And like there's like 5 adults, including my older brother, on the court like yelling at them what to do, but it's too echoey so they can't hear anything. But it was like really funny to watch 3-year-olds make baskets. It's like
Were
surreal.
they making baskets?
The basket was lowered, but yeah, they literally just like, the basket is like, in their perspective, probably like 100 feet above them, and they just like hurl it. So the end score was like 8-3 or something. It was bizarre. So I felt like I did a good thing and actually hung out with my family, and it was fun. That's our episode. You guys, you can email us questions at idkpod@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. We plugged our Instagram.
We already did that.
Rewind.
#, what's your queen? Is it us? It better be.
Who's your queen? It should be Marika. Or me. I wouldn't identify as a queen, but you can fucking be a fucking queen. I don't care. Quentin, thank you.
Thank you
for
so
coming.
much for having me, guys. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Anytime. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
No.
Okay, like have a great day. Like have fun.